G'day from Down Under. My name is Ozzy Stern, a country Victorian gamer of Star Wars Armada, Legion, X-Wing, Flames of War, Dystopian Wars, many other games. So, as the title says, today's video is about terrain. Now, as I've previously stated, I play a lot of different games as well. I play 40k, which is in some ways the same scale as Legion, maybe with 1 or 2 mil difference. I also play Flames of War, which is a lot different. Flames of War is, I think, 15 mil. I believe Games Workshop is something like 28 mil. And I believe that Legion is pretty much around about the 27 to 29 mil, somewhere around there, just off the top of my head. So, terrain. What sort of terrain do I use? Well, I generally use a hodgepodge of different types of terrain. Now, I'm lucky enough that I purchased quite a lot of different items for Flames of War. So, with that being in mind, here is some terrain that I have. So by no means this is all of my terrain. This is just some of the terrain that I have available to me right now. Just put down on a display mat for another game that I sometimes play, but you get the gist of it. These two here are from a company called Battlefront, or Battlefield in a Box. They're great for 15 mil range miniatures, which is Flames of War, small scale skirmish games in that range as well. Not so good for the larger games, things like Bolt Action or things like Star Wars Legion. However, the generalized things like this is still perfect for almost any size. So I'll be using some of the terrain from my Battlefield in a Box stuff, namely sand dunes, mountains, rocks, etc. for that sort of generalized terrain in Legion. For other items, I have found a company by the name of Miniature Scenery. Now, this is their central processing building. And as you can see, it's not a bad building. Comes all pretty much cut to size, all in a wood MDF, and you basically build it yourself and then paint it. All of these markings on it have been already burnt into the wood, so when you paint it, like with your paints, spray paints and that, it still will appear even after you've painted it, especially if you've gone like myself, dark color for an undercoat and then paint over the top of it. So with this one, this is their shield generator. Comes in a wood color sort of thing. This is the next one. Comes flat, nice thin. You cut it out using a bit of a hobby knife. Assemble it with craft glue. Then you need to paint it. And the paint comes on pretty well after you've done one undercoat. I've left this deliberately rough in the paint because it's an older building. I wanted to show dust and stuff like that and went for a really grey look. The shield generator is slightly different, but it blends in nicely with the scale. I've also used pens to mark writing on it. This is Arbalest, I believe is the basic language of Star Wars, is Generator 9. So, and I'll also be doing some writing up here. So I'll be using these two buildings as part of my game table. This one as well, the rocks. I've just purchased a Torii arch. As you can see, this arch is very much like Japanese inspired, and you can see down here that it is very much sci-fi based. I believe it's more so for games like Infinity, Malifaux, but just using the arch itself and repainting it in a lot more darker colors similar to the sand or the grey will give it more of a desert look or a semi-rural look. A lot of the information can be found at the website, which I will link in. And as you can see, you've got vehicle options, some vending machines, etc. that you can add on to it. And all in all, it's actually quite nice. None of the doors open up unless you actually cut them out to be open, but I definitely didn't want that. All in all, I think it's a nice product, and that's what I'm going to use with my terrain. There are two or three other buildings like this. One's called a distribution center, an auto shop, and admin building, I believe, and I will eventually get all three more to create a little hamlet sort of thing. This one's going to be not only either a tavern of some sort, or a cantina, or it might be like a general store. Not have decided yet. But I'm going to continue to look at getting some more terrain. They do a Crash TIE Fighter, which they obviously can't use the word TIE, but it's obviously based upon a Star Wars TIE Fighter. And a few other bits and pieces to fill out. Mainly some sort of wheat field. I've had suggestions from a couple of friends of getting like an old doormat and cut that down to size. Would be appropriate for a wheat field. A couple other people have suggested some of the Battlefield in the Box vineyards, etc. might be appropriate. But either way, that is where I'm up to with my Star Wars Legion terrain. If you wish to watch me make this Torii arch, please leave a comment below. Please like, please subscribe. And I will see you on the table. But for now, from Aussie Stern, I wish you all a good evening, good afternoon, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.